This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to Fall League Game of the Week, 80-83 season. We are in the divisional round, and we have a battle between the expansion team Portland Rosebuds and the Phillies. This is an expansion team we added to get to a 32-team playoff field. And the Phillies, this would have been a World Series window for them. They were in the World Series a year ago, the Winter World Series. Let's call it the Super Series in conjunction with the Super Bowl, which is when we play that thing. So they lost the World Series a year ago to the Expos, relocated to the American League. Trying to get back. Let's see what's happened. The Phillies were a 3. Portland's a 2. Portland actually had the bye. They hosted Game 1. Phillies had to go with Ray Burris, their number 3 guy, against the ace, Jerry Royce. Good baseball game. Third inning, the Phillies get a single by Lonnie Smith, a stolen base, and then Mike Schmidt and Bake McBride, the only big damage of the day for the Phillies, back-to-back doubles, 2-zip. Burris gives up a run in the 4th on a single ground out, another single. Then in the 7th, who else but Mike Schmidt with a solo home run. That is all the scoring in a well-pitched game. Jerry Royce went 9 innings, 11 hits and 3 runs, got a complete game. But unfortunately, a disappointing loss as the Portland offense could not do any more damage to Ray Burris and a trio of relievers. 9th inning, Tug McGraw struck out the final batter to get the save. So the Phillies, predictably get the win. They are the road favorite in this series for obvious reasons. They win it 3-1, and they've done what they needed to do. Get a win in the first 2 games to have home field in this series. Let's take a look at game number 2 now. It's going to be the Phillies' worst starter, Dick Ruthven, and Portland's best starter, Jim Beattie. Had a really fantastic year in 1981 with Seattle. He's had a really great year in the expansion league, and it plays that way. Bottom of the 1st, they get to Ruthven, a walk and 3 singles. It's 2-zip. Then in the 3rd inning, you get a Lemon walk, Horner and Hurdle singles, and a 3-run homer by Gary Ward. 6-0. The game essentially is over. Schmidt hits another home run in the 7th inning. The Phillies attempt some rallies late. The Portland bullpen does close it out. Willie Hernandez, Jim Barr, and LaCourte get this game over with. Jim Beattie, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs allowed, knocking out Dick Ruthven. Final score, Portland 7-3, and there is a split. So Portland's going to have to go to Philadelphia and get a win, at least one. And this is where we expect Philly to excel because they have lefty. Steve Carlton, who pitched in the wild card game, now has 3 days off. The scheduled day off in those 2 days. So he's pitching game 3 at home versus Tom Brennan, a starter 8. And Tom Brennan, a starter 8, he's had a difficult year. Bottom of the 1st, solo homer by Larry Herndon. That's the only damage. 4th inning, he makes an error in the 4th inning, allowing a run to score. Makes another error in the 5th inning. E1. He's an E33 pitcher. Makes innings and back-to-back innings and runs scored. And you're thinking, this guy's in for a short day. Gives up 3 singles and a run in the 6th. They elect to stay with him, and he lingers throughout the game. While that's going on, Portland isn't doing anything against lefty until the 6th. You get a Glenn Hubbard walk, a Chet Lemon walk, RBI single by Terry Poole. After a couple strikeouts, Gary Ward with a 3-run homer, another one. He had a 3-run homer in the previous game. At this point, believe it or not, lefty's losing. Portland's got a 4-3 lead off Steve Carlton. And as it turns out, both starters linger through the 9 innings. Brennan gets through 9. 9 hits, 4 runs, only 2 are earned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and lefty. Only 5 hits allowed. It was just this really bad 6th inning. 6 walks, 11 Ks. So it's 4-4. We go to extra innings. Standard structure. We're not doing the present day rules where you start with a guy at second. So the Phils decide, hey, let's just go with Carlton. They're not hitting lefties that well, so let's continue. Go back-to-back Carlton and McGraw. Tug gives up a single in the top half of the 10th, and that's the only damage. Bottom half of the inning, Portland needs a reliever. Instead of going to their closer, they go to Jim Barr, who's the most successful reliever. He's a relief starter, used to be a Giant, then he went to the Angels. He walks Schmidt. Then Bake McBride gets a double off his card, and Bake McBride is having a huge postseason for Philadelphia. Had some big hits in the wild card game. Big hit in the game 1 victory. Gets a double here. So you got second and third, nobody out, and Portland's in a mess of trouble. They bring the infield up. They get the strikeout on Keith Moreland. Then with the infield still up, Boa hits center X. Now you've got Lemon in center. So center X with a 1 in center, you're going to get fly ball 8 a lot of the time. Your only chance is a sac fly or an error. And sure enough, we get the E rating. Lemon's an E8 in center field. He makes the 2-base error. I guess we can assume if we watch this that maybe it was a bloop single attempt and he made a dive for it and it caromed off his glove. In any event, 2-base error is just as good as a sac fly. Portland gets a walk-off victory, 5-4, off a very game Portland team. They've been in this series the entire time, but the Phillies are historically, obviously, the better team. They have a 2-1 series lead, which brings us today to a Game 4. And now it gets more desperate for Portland. They go to their number 4 starter, John Stupor. The good news is John Stupor was a St. Louis Cardinal and pitched in the 1982 World Series. So that's what Portland's got in a playoff game, at least. 9-7, 3.36 ERA, 137 innings. Meanwhile, Philly will go with Eric Schau, off-season free agent signed out of San Diego, 10-6, 2.64 ERA, 150 innings. Last we saw Eric Schau was in the wild card game, coming in relief of Steve Carlton. He only pitched 2 1/3 innings in that game, so he had a day off the first 3 games of this, so he's pitching on regular 4-day rest. So he is ready to go. John Stupor, Eric Schau, again, Philly with the pitching advantage. They don't want to get back on a plane and fly to Portland where anything can happen. Philly wants to win this thing and advance to the league championship. So let's get started from the city of brotherly love. Leading off for Portland will be Terry Poole. 59 second. Chet Lemon, 46 is the K. And Bob Horner, 57 is a strikeout. Good start for Schau. Leading off for Philadelphia is Lonnie Smith. 6'11 off Stupor, short X. You got Verizon, a 3E23 at short. And he kicks the ground ball. Not a good start. Lonnie Smith, single A stealer, but he loves to just take off unprovoked. And he'll try another steal. He's in there again. He's been very successful this year as a single A stealer. Runner at second for Greg Gross. 1-9, grounds to third. And the runner is stuck at second base. Did not move the runner up. Pete Rose. 1-8 for Pete. Let's take a look at Rose's 1981 card, a 325 hitter. Best offensive and defense combined year in Philadelphia in the timeline. 79 and 81. When they go to the World Series, he's not nearly as good in the 80 and 83 campaigns. But 1-8 here is a single to center. Lonnie Smith will probably run. 17, he'll run against the Lemon. And he scores. 1-zip. Mike Schmidt. 5'11 off Stupor's right X. Out in right field, it's Terry Poole. He's a 184. This Portland team is a pretty good baseball club, folks. They have assembled some nice pieces over the period of years. And frankly, what you're seeing is a combination of guys in their best year all at the same time. Normally, these expansion teams don't have longevity. They've got to hope they get career years out of guys in the same year and then make a run, and that's what they're attempting to do. We got Poole and Lemon and Horner and Clint Hurdle and Upshaw and Ward, all of them in their best cards, we believe. Royce in his best card, Beatty in his best card, Frank LaCourty. All these guys are in their best card right now, so this is it. They'll turn into a pumpkin at the end of the year. Bate McBride having a huge postseason, 39 flies to center. 1-0. It'll be Clint Hurdle. 1-6. Let's take a look. Clint Hurdle, we're talking about it. There you go, folks. How do you get an expansion team into the divisional round of the playoffs? You find these extra player cards. In this case, a Kansas City Royal. They, of course, have no room to protect him, as he was just a marginal player. But marginal is plenty for Portland. 329 average in a small 89 at-bat sample and 81, 1-6. That is gone, and we're tied. I mean, you're getting small sample extra player cards, but you got to remember, this is not a 162-game season I play. So it pretty much matches the stamina involved, where upsets and random activity could occur in a short sample, in a short season. Joe Pittman, 1-5. Let's take a look at this guy, Joe Pittman. His best card in 81, a 281 hitter. All against righties, though. Hits about 320, 330 versus righties. 1-5, double 1 and 9's a base hit. Now you got Willie Upshaw. 1-9, let's keep it going. Let's take a look at Upshaw. Let's get to know this Portland team should they make a run. Willie Upshaw, 1983 Toronto Blue Jay in his best year. Toronto certainly wishes they have him. 27 home runs and a 306 average for the 83 Blue Jays. And here he is in Portland, of all places. 1-9, homer 1-16. He misses it. It's going to be a double. Pittman will not challenge Gary Maddox's arm in center. Second and third for Gary Ward, having a huge series. 2-9s, a base hit in the center. Upshaw will hold at third. It's 2-1. Runners in the corners. Nobody out to play it back for Verizon. 4-10 pops to short. They'll bring the infield up now for Gedman. And 37, double 1 at 12 is an RBI single for Rich Gedman. They're getting to Eric Schau. Runners in the corners. Infield has to come up for Terry Poole. 1-2 is a Lomax. So it's a line drive with the infield up, and it catches the runner off of first base. Tough way to end the inning for Portland, though. They got 3 runs, and they have a 3-1 lead. Bottom of the second. Portland, hey, they match up very well. It's not a fluke. Not a fluke. The talent assembled, and you've seen a decent chunk of it. Keith Morton leads off in the second. 1-7, flies to center. Will Fong, 2-5, grounds to first. And Gary Maddox, 4-12, rolls back to the mound. We go to the third. It's Chet Lemon, 3-10, flies left. Bob Horner, 5-10, walks. Clint Hurdle, 65, center. And with 2 outs, Joe Pittman, 56, double 1 to 4. He collects it. This is not what the Phillies thought they were going to get out of Schau, who dominates right-handed batters. The righties have had no issue with Schau today. They get double 1 to 4 fly ball. Horner should consider running and taking advantage there. But he's slow, so we'll leave him at third and let Willie Upshaw bat, who homered or doubled last time up. 49, short X. Bo is a 2-19 at short, and he makes the play. So it stays 3-1. Here is Boa. 45, walks, a stealer. It'll be Lonnie Smith. 38 is single dot. You got runners in the corners. Gray Gross. 111 is a 5-4-3 double play, but a run will score. And it's 3-2. And it's Pete Rose. 56 flies to right. Well, not a bad scenario to get out of that inning after the first 2 men reach. Portland clinging to a 3-2 lead in the fourth. It's Gary Ward. 32 rolls back to the mound. Tom Verizor, 48. Second X. This is Wilfong, a 2 second baseman. And Gedman. 3-6 is a K. Both pitchers dominate. Well, I wouldn't say dominate. Both pitchers are much weaker against lefties. So you're seeing every lefty on both teams. Benches are 6 right-handed batters. Your lefties on Portland are Pull, Hurdle, Upshaw, and Gedman. The lefties on the Phillies are Rose, Wilfong, and Boa. Not a lot, just 3 lefty. Oh, Gross, Rose, McBride, and Wilfong and Boa. Bottom of the 4th. It's Mike Schmidt. 56 off Stupor, flies left. McBride, 1-7, double 1-9. He is red hot. Base hit from McBride. Keith Moreland, 1-6. Let's take a look at the Keith Moreland card of 1980. A 3.14 average. And he's not even the best rookie on the Phillies because Lonnie Smith hit 339. But Moreland, very versatile player. Could catch, plays third in the outfield in a utilitarian role or a designated hitter role. Here he's catching. 1-6 is a base hit to right. McBride, is he trying to go coast to coast again off the pull arm? He's going to do it. He's a 16 runner. And he does. He makes it. The infield has to come up with runners on the corners and 1 out. And here's the pitch to Rob Wilfong. 64, short X with the infield up. He's a 3-23. This is Verizor. And it's going to be a single off the range of Verizor with the infield up. That's a tough break for Portland. Squirts through the infield. Runners on the corners again for Gary Maddox. They're going to bring the infield up again in a 3-3 tie. Trying to protect everything they can. They're down 2-1 in the series. They got to act in a desperate way. 46 for Maddox is second X with the infield up. Joe Pittman's a 3-16 at second base with the infield up. And another single. This is single dot. Still will score a run. The runner holds at second. So it's first and second, 1 out, and the Phillies have the lead. For Larry Boa. 38 for Boa is single dot, and the bases are loaded. Now you got to think, this is elimination baseball suddenly. Portland really gummed this one up. They had an advantage early and weren't able to capitalize in the third, and now they're in trouble. The bases are loaded with 1 out in the 4th. Stupor's not particularly good. The weakest starter they have. He's better against righties than lefties. You've got 1 more righty coming up, then 2 more lefties. So you give him 1 more batter. He hasn't hit his point of weakness, but he's not destined to finish this inning. They're going to let him pitch to Lonnie Smith and bring the infield up, and here's the pitch. 4-10, and just as we say that, we hit the power roll on Stupor's card. Homer 1-4, double the rest. And that's the hardest. He rolls a 1 on Homer 4, double the rest. The fortunate thing for Portland is that Lonnie Smith doesn't have power, so that's not a grand slam. But it's a disaster. It's a 2-run single, and the Phillies have a 6-3 lead. And that will do it, as the moves have not played out at all for Portland. 3 1/3. Stupor is gone. Did not have a very good card at all. Something that the, I guess the 82 Cardinals had to compensate for, as they somehow won the World Series anyway. So now in the 4th inning, lefty switch and Schmidt. You have Barr is a long man, Willie Hernandez and Lacorte at the end. I guess they'll go Dave Ford. And the reason I go to Dave Ford is that at least he's good against lefties. Let's take a look at Dave Ford. Pitched for Baltimore in 80, 1-3, 4.24 ERA in 70 innings. Very good against lefties, something Stupor is not. They got to get out of this mess, or it's the series right here. It's already 6-3. Dave Ford's got to get through the rest of this inning, or at least get through Gross and Rose. Lonnie Smith, runners on the corners. They're going to hold, but they're going to play back. They're hoping for a double play out of Gray Gross. Here is the pitch. 1-3 is a 3-6-3 double play. Exactly what Portland needed. Great move for Dave Ford. The inning ends. So the Phillies grab a 6-3 lead. We go to the 5th. Eric Schall had a rocky second inning. Portland decided not to run batters, be conservative with a lead, but they didn't get enough pitching to warrant that decision. We go to the 5th. It's Terry Poole. They're going to need this offense to make another run here. 42, right. Chet Lemon. 66 is a walk. Off the Schall card. He is not sharp at all. Bob Horner. 2-4 misses the column and gets into a 5-4-3 double play. Tough one there for Portland. Bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. 6-3. Dave Ford continues. He's got a switch hitter, a righty, and then lefty, righty, lefty after that. He'll continue. He's a long man. Pete Rose. 48 is a strikeout off the Dave Ford card. Now you got Schmidt. High probability of a home run here as Dave Ford against righties gives up a ton of them. And yeah, it's Mike Schmidt. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. You almost want to walk him, but there's nobody out and you're down 3, so you can't afford base runners. The pitch to Schmidt, he doesn't get the homer. 68 is a fly ball to right. And with 2 outs, it's McBride. 63, pitcher X, and Dave Ford's an E0. Continuing a very good relief appearance. 6-3 game. Portland's still in this thing. In the 6th, Schall's breaking inning. Need the lefties to come through. That's Hurdle. That's Upshaw. That's Gedman. Can you knock Eric Schall out of a game where he's settled the ship? You know, only one of the last 7 men have reached. But he's given up 3 runs in 5 innings. Top of the 6th, here's Clint Hurdle. 5-10 off Schall is a walk. Phillies fans a little frustrated with Eric Schall, the expensive free agent. Joe Pittman. 2-7, and oh my goodness, it's a 5-4-3 double play. That's unexpected. 3 double plays in 6 innings. You get a low max where they were getting a huge inning. Bob Horner in his column and Pittman there. That is heartbreaking for the visitors. 2 outs now. Schall given a reprieve. Willie Upshaw. 67 for Upshaw is a pop to third, and Schall will be able to continue into the 7th. And it was otherwise a shaky start, 6-3 game. Bottom of the 6th, we'll continue with Dave Ford as we have 2 lefties coming up in this inning. Keith Moreland. 39's a single. Rob Wilfong. 1-7's a K. Gary Maddox got to stay away from the home run here. 34, pitcher A. And Ford has done a nice job keeping his Portland team in the game. He'll also continue in the next inning when Boa comes up. So we go to the top of the 7th, 6-3. Eric Schall continues. He's got righty-righty, and then after that it's lefty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. So we'll probably go to the bullpen for Schall at some point here in the 7th inning, unless it goes 3 up and 3 down. Gary Ward leads off. There's no... Well, no, they'll leave the defense alone. Gary Ward. 39 is a fly ball to left. You got Tom Barizer. 2-3 is a grounded to short. And he'll let Schall pitch to Rich Gedman, who singled earlier. 56 gets, that's off the Schall card. It's a base hit. Now you're up top to Terry Poole. There's a look over to the dugout. And one of the moves that Portland made is that in game 1, they had Poole and Hurdle batting first and third, which allowed Ray Searage to come in and face the 2 lefties and 3 batters. In game 2, they corrected that, moved Hurdle down to 4 to put 2 righties in between. So now you risk the danger of 2 righties facing Searage if you were to bring him in. You have to weigh the 3-run lead and just let Eric Schall continue. I think they're going to let Schall continue here. You got Lemon and Horner. Gedman's a slow runner at first anyway. No, you don't have to hold him on either. So Shao will continue and face Terry Poole. 3-7 is a fly ball to center field. Stretch time here in Philadelphia. The fans are happy. They're winning 6-3. And we are enjoying listening to the 3 Degrees, collaborators with MFSB, the Sounds of Philadelphia. The best of the roulette years, featuring Collage, Lowdown. Bunch of great tunes here. Sugar on Sunday, Stardust. Great stuff here. Throw down some, yeah. 3 Degrees. From Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Back to the game. Bottom of the 7th of a 6-3 affair. Dave Ford will continue to face Larry Boa. Boa, 2-8 is a fly ball to right. Now, Lonnie Smith doesn't have power, so you can pitch to him with Gross and Rose behind him. But the Phillies are weighing the idea of a pinch hit home run versus Ford versus Lonnie Smith's brilliant bat. I can't imagine why you would pinch hit for a 339 hitter, so Smith will bat. 1-5 is a fly ball to center. Larry Herndon will take over in the outfield for him. Actually, he won't. Herndon will actually pinch hit versus Greg Gross, with Rose on deck. With 2 outs here. And do you call it a day for Dave Ford to be happy he's gotten through 3 innings? Actually, 3 2/3 innings? I think you do. Let's not give up a solo home run with a homer happy Dave Ford card. So he'll leave after 3 1/3. Jim Barr, the most accomplished reliever, will come in. Jim Barr, the most accomplished reliever for Portland, will come in. He had a long career with the Giants. In '82, he's a relief starter. 4-3 with a 3.29 ERA, 129 innings. He comes on in to face Larry Herndon, another former Giant, who's batting for Greg Gross. Here's the pitch. 6-11 off bar. Pitcher X is an E10. Makes the play. So that move was mostly to bring in Herndon's defense than his offense. So Herndon goes into left field where Greg Gross was. They could bring in Steve Yeager to catch as well with a 6-3 lead, though I don't think Portland will be stealing many bases. What's Moreland's E rating? It's catcher. He's an E5. He'll leave it alone. 6-3 into the 8th. Eric Schall, starter 6. He's got righty-righty, though. He'll pitch to them. And then after that, we'll be looking at the rest of the Philly pen. So Schall continues, taking off the hook. He's put individual runners on in these innings, but he got double play, and they weren't able to make a rally there. They could not knock him out early. He stuck around into the 8th. Here's Chet Lemon. 2-8's a hit by the pitch. Don't want to do that. Do not want to do that. And now you got Bob Horner. 2-5. Let's take a look at the Bob Horner card. Remember, he had a 2-4 double play earlier in the game. Not this time. 2-5 is Homer 1-11 double. It is gone for Bob, who had 20 homers and 386 at-bats and a 303 for your 1983 Atlanta Braves. We got a ball game. Perfect scenario. That'll do it. Do you go 2 innings save McGraw, or do you concede? Now, if you go lefty here, they're going to pinch hit for Hurdle, and you're going to have a righty facing the lefty, Searage. And that will be either Art Howe, Nicosia, or Hubbard. I think, yeah, this is what Portland wants. So Schall will exit after 7 and a couple batters in a 6-5 game. You don't want Hurdle to tie the game with a solo shot, so they'll go Searage in the 8th. They don't want McGraw. McGraw has pitched a lot in this wild card series, in the wild card and divisional round. So they're not going to go McGraw here for 2 innings. They'll let him go 1. So they'll go Searage here to get Hurdle out of here. Plus, Tug McGraw is not particularly good against lefties. He's much better against righties. Ray Searage, a New York Met in 81, with a 3.65 ERA in 37 innings. Clint Hurdle does exit the game. And they'll go Art Howe. Art Howe will be the pinch hitter in a 6-5 game. Here's the pitch to Art Howe. 5-10 off Searage's short X. You got Boa. A 2E19 at short makes the play. You got Pittman, and on deck you got Upshaw. We know Searage will pitch through to Upshaw. Your pinch hitters are Hubbard and Nicosia. Hubbard has plenty of power. He's going to bat second baseman for Joe Pittman, who's not very good against lefties. Here's your pitch to Glenn Hubbard. 34 is a pop to first. And with 2 outs, it's Willie Upshaw. Had the big double earlier. Remember, he missed a homer 1-16 here off his card when we showed it. That's the difference of the game right now. Hits that home run, we're tied. So, it's Willie Upshaw, Ray Searage. Here is the pitch. 1-9 against a lefty. It's triple 1-6 double. And he misses again and gets another double. The tie run at second for Gary Ward, and that'll be it for Searage. We've seen enough. So now the Phillies will go to Dick Tidrow. Dick Tidrow was a Cub in 1980. 6-5, 2.79 ERA in 116 innings. Phillies got him in free agency. We'll ask him to get the final out here in the 8th of a 6-5 game. In a very good series. Very contested series here. The upstart Portland team, the the team who got the bye, but Philadelphia, the road favorite, is struggling. You saw Carlton had to go into extras in Game 3, and now they're in a 1-run affair in the 8th inning of this one. So Dick Tidrow will face Gary Ward. Let's take a look at the Gary Ward card, because Gary Ward has had 3-run homers in previous games. Gary Ward had 28 of those in 1982 for the Twins with a 289 average. He doesn't need a 3-run homer. A 2-run homer will do it. Gary Ward, Dick Tidrow, here in the 8th. The tie run at second. Here's the pitch. 3-5 just misses, and it's single one line to short. Rolls a 20. So, tough break there for Ward. Oh, we got a 6-5 game. Great game here. Jim Barr will continue. Can they keep the good relief work going and make an improbable comeback and force a Game 5? It'll be the meat of the Philadelphia lineup. Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, and McBride. Here is Rose. 2-7's a ground to third. Mike Schmidt, quiet today, but otherwise having a big postseason. 53, right X, but this is Terry Poole. 1-4 in right field. Very good outfield defense. You got ones in center and right. Lemon and Poole. And with 2 outs, it's Bate McBride. He's got a hit, reached in every game of the postseason. 46 off a bar, double one, base hit. Now you got Keith Moreland. 2-9 is a grounder to third. And in a 1-run game, they're going to pull Moreland and let Steve Yeager catch. Good defensive catcher, just in case Poole wants to steal a base, should he reach in the 9th. Buckle up, folks. This is it. 6-5 game in Game 4. Can Portland complete the comeback? It's Verizon, Gedman, Poole. The last 2 are lefties. The temptation is McGraw. Rightly so. You'd put the Portland team in a situation where you're thinking about letting Gedman bat if you do that. I think they're going to do it. They are going to go to Tug McGraw. They're not going to let Tidrow start the 9th. They're going to simply go to Tug McGraw. Take a look at McGraw's card. This is the 1980 McGraw. Remember him on the mound, on the World Series, tossing his glove up in the air. 5-4, 147 ERA, 92 innings. We've had Tug get a World Series ring for the Mets, 69 Mets. We haven't had him get a ring for the Phillies yet. Attempting to do it here. in the ninth, or at least get it started. And it'll be Tom Verizon on your bench again. Steve Nicosia is the only player on the bench left for the Portland team. So it'll be Tom Verizon. 55 off McGraw is short X. You got Boas at 2E19 at short. Makes the play. Decision time. Gedman, a lefty versus McGraw, a lefty, or Nicosia. And I'm sorry, I got to go Nicosia, the pinch hitter, and the reason is he's got a homer 11 on 7. Let's take a look at Steve Nicosia. He hit 280 in 1982 with 1 homer and 100 at-bats, and there it be on the roll of 1-7, homer 1 to 11. The power won't happen because McGraw doesn't give up homers. Gives up homers to lefties, but Rich Gedman doesn't have power against lefties, so it makes that academic. So Nicosia will swing away here in a 6-5 game. Here's the pitch. Needs that 1-7. 3-6 is a ground ball to short. Neither batter would have reached. And with 2 outs, Portland's season is in the hands of Terry Poole. He lined into a double play, unfortunately, in the 2nd inning. He has not reached today. But McGraw isn't particularly good against lefties. Here's your pitch to Terry Poole. 1-4. Let's take a look at the Terry Poole card. 1980. Houston Astro had a huge postseason in the 1980 LCS and divisional rounds. Actually, it was just the LCS. What am I talking about? In the LCS against Philadelphia, he hit 400 or 500. It was ridiculous. 80, he hits 13 home runs with a 282 average. 1-4, double 1 to 6, and he gets the double. So he gets into scoring position. You don't have to contemplate trying to steal a base off of Steve Yeager. And now you got Chet Lemon. Let's take a look at Chet before he swings. Chet Lemon was a White Sox in 1980. See what you've seen a lot of cards today, folks. You know how good this Portland team is. He's a 292 hitter for the 1980 White Sox with 11 homers, 71 walks. Now, against the lefties, he draws a lot of walks, doesn't get a lot of hits, which is unfortunate, as well as McGraw doesn't give up a lot of hits to righties. So it's improbable for the hit. The walk might happen, though. Runner at second. Here's your pitch to Chet Lemon. 45, he gets it off the McGraw card. Double 1 to 6, RBI single. Portland's tied it on a 1-4 on Poole's card and a 4-5 on McGraw, and probably ties it in the ninth. And the Portland has stunned Philadelphia 6-6. Oh my goodness. What a comeback. 2-run homer by Horner in the 8th and a run in the 9th after 2 outs and nobody have reached. And once again, Philadelphia cannot get over that hump. They lost the World Series a year ago. 4-game loss, and they're trying to get back to the league championship, and right now Portland's tied in the 9th. And the wild Portland bunch is happy. They just want to keep this thing going. Lemon's at first. You got Bob Horner at the plate. Homered his last at-bat. Here's the pitch to Bob Horner. 65 off McGraw is a fly ball to center field. Portland's tied the game at 6. Their bench is exhausted. Everybody's there. Art Howe's at third base. Nicosia's catching. Hubbard's at second. The DH hasn't moved. It's Bob Horner as the DH now. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Jim Barr. Does he continue? He's a relief 3. He will continue in the bottom of the 9th. He's also very good against lefties. And the Phils will have Rob Wilfong leading off in the bottom of the 9th in a 6-6 tie. 58 flies to center. Gary Maddox. 34 grounds to the pitcher. And Larry Boa. 1-9's a base hit. Do you steal off Nicosia? You got Lonnie Smith still in the leadoff spot. I think you steal here, even though Nicosia's got a -1 arm. He rolls a 17 and is gunned down by the momentum-rich Portland squad. Bonus baseball. We got extra innings. This is a Phillies had to go extra innings in the wild card round to dispatch the Cubs. They're going extra innings and attempting to win a Game 4 of a 5-game set with Portland. Tug McGraw's a relief 3, so we'll continue. Nobody to go to on the Portland bench. It'll be Art Howe, Glenn Hubbard, and Willie Upshaw. In the top of the inning, the only player left on either bench is Mickey Klutz for the Phillies. So Art Howe will lead off in the 10th. 58 off McGraw's a K. Glenn Hubbard. 6-12, pitcher B. And with 2 outs, it's Upshaw. Having a huge day. 66, he flies to right field. Well, McGraw could not do that in the 9th. Did it, gets him out in the 10th. Bottom half. What do you do with Barr? He's in his 4th inning of relief, but he's been outstanding. We're going to leave him in there for 1 more inning. Again, they just don't. Dave Ford is gone. Willie Hernandez is so-so. LaCourte is their closer. They'd bring him in if they were to take the lead, I'm sure. You got righty-righty, lefty-righty. With Schmidt practically coming up in this inning, you certainly don't want to bring in Willie Hernandez. So they're going to go with Jim Barr in his 4th inning of relief. Relief 3, starter 6, not concerned for his wear. He won't pitch in Game 5, if there is one. Lonnie Smith leads off in the bottom of the 10th. Here's the pitch. 4-10 off of Barr is center X. You've got Lemon, 1-8. He made an error, and he makes another one as soon as I say it. He made the error in Game 1, where sac fly would have won the game anyway, but he made a 2-base error in the bottom of the 10th inning. And what is it about 10th innings for Chet Lemon? He makes another error. Horrible, horrible luck for Chet Lemon here, who had the RBI single to tie it in the 9th. Lonnie Smith's at second base with nobody out. Oh, my goodness. And now you got Herndon. You really want to think long and hard about moving him to third base with Rose and Schmidt and McBride coming up. Not a big fan of bunting to third with anything other than an A bunter. But in this situation, when you're trying to get the League Championship Series and you've got 2 Hall of Famers coming up, I'm going to consider it. So I am going to have Herndon attempt to bunt this guy over to third. Here's the bunt. And he barely makes it successful on a 9. He's a B bunter, just gets it in there. 2-9 for B's, 2-10 for A's. And we have a runner at third. The infield's got to come up now. You only have Pete Rose and Mike Schmidt, so what's your plan? Rose is not an A bunter, he's a B bunter. He won't squeeze. Barr's better against lefties than righties. All you need is a Pete Rose single, and he's a .325 hitter. And Mike Schmidt's the MVP. Rock and hard place. Again, you got to bring the infield up and just pitch to Pete Rose here. And here's the pitch to Pete Rose. 59 off the bar card is second C. With the infield up, I won't score him. Runner has to hold at third. A rocket to Glenn Hubbard. He squashes it. Keeps the ball in the infield. Throws over to first. So with 2 outs, it's Mike Schmidt. You could walk him and face McBride. Though McBride has had a devastating postseason. And when you look at the 2 cards, believe it or not, McBride has more hit chances. Remember, Schmidt walks a lot. Mike Schmidt would have walked 100 times in a full season. So when you count out the actual hits on the cards, McBride has more. So a homer doesn't really matter at this point for Portland. They just need to get Schmidt out. Hope he doesn't make contact. So here's the pitch to MVP Mike Schmidt, who's 0 for 4. Here's the pitch to Schmitty. 2-8 is a strikeout, and the game continues. Oh my, what a thriller. We go to the 11th inning. We're going to call it a day for Jim Barr. He has actually gone that same, is it 3 1/3 again? Yeah, they've all gone 3 1/3. Three and a third, 3 1/3, 3 1/3 is 10 innings. So Barr will be gone. McGraw will continue into his third and final inning of relief. It'll be Gary Ward leading off. 6'10", third X. Schmidt, he's a 1, but he's got that high E rating. Mike Schmidt makes a lot of errors. An E25. Makes the play. Now you got Verizon. 211 flies to right, and with 2 outs, it's Steve Nicosia. 46 off of McGraw's single 1 of 4. Cannot collect the hit. And the best thing to happen for Portland is they got McGraw out of the game. So he's gone his 3 innings. Bottom of the 11th, Barr has exhausted himself. You got McBride, Yeager, Wilfong. If you're going to use Willie Hernandez, now is the time. And they will. In the bottom of the 11th inning, it'll be Willie Hernandez, not the great Willie Hernandez who was a Tiger. Willie Hernandez 1980 card with the Cubs. Not particularly good one. A 1-9, 4.42 ERA in 108 innings. You're starting to see some of the problems Portland would have is depth, completing a 20-man roster. Again, we had Dave Ford, now Willie Hernandez. So some sketchy players at the edges of this roster that's trying to force a Game 5. Willie Hernandez in the bottom of the 11th inning. It'll be McBride, Yeager, and Rob Wilfong, or possibly Mickey Clutch as a pinch hitter. So it'll be Bate McBride to lead off in the bottom of the 11th of a 6-6 thriller in Philadelphia. Here's the pitch. 67 off Hernandez is a K. Steve Yeager. Boy, what some great playoff baseball we're having. Steve Yeager. 2-11. 1-11's a game-ending homer. 2-11 pops to first. And with 2 outs, it's Wilfong. Now, interestingly, he has power versus lefties. You bring in Mickey Klutz. Yeah, he has a higher chance. But they could go to the righty. Or do you... I think you just want to let Wilfong bat here and go for a homer chance. He has power versus lefties, and he has a homer on his card. So it'll be Wilfong. He's going to stay in the game. Rob Wilfong. Here's the pitch. 68 off Hernandez is a single. So the difference is, against a righty, it's double 1-6 single. And a lefty, it's simply a single. Doesn't matter, it's a single regardless. So Wilfong is on. And moreover, Wilfong is a base stealer that you have to account for at least. So you hold him. Do you attempt to steal with Gary Maddox up? And the answer is no. And now it's decision time again for Portland. You got Maddox, Boa, Lonnie Smith. Rock and hard place. You've got nobody. Royce, Brennan, and Beatty are unavailable. You've exhausted the rest of your bullpen. You've got LaCourty. You bring him in now. Who knows how long he'll have to pitch. Again, the runner's at first. If he was at second or third, it might be a different story. Hernandez will pitch to Gary Maddox. Here's the pitch. 3-10 is a fly ball to center field, and Hernandez gets out of the 11th inning. And now it's Philadelphia. Their bullpen. They've gone Searage, Tidrow, McGraw. It's got to be Brewster the rest of the way, and Burris and Ruthven and Carlton are not available. In the 12th inning, Warren Brewster. A great chance the Portland team has is breaking Brewster as a relief 2 in the 12th inning, in the 13th inning. So Warren Brewster's going to have to go the rest of the way for the Phillies. Portland has Hernandez and Frank LaCourty available. Top of the 12th. Top of the Portland lineup. Terry Poole, who facing elimination hit a double off his card. So we'll hit TP here so I know who he's facing. Terry Poole leading off in the top of the 12th. Here's the pitch. 2-8, grounds to short. Chet Lemon. 69 off a Brewster, Sky's the center. And with 2 outs, it's Bob Horner. 58 flies to right field. So after they tie the game, the next 10 Portland players get out. Nobody reaches. What a wild one here. Bottom of the 12th. Willie Hernandez. He'll continue against Boa, Smith, and then it gets ugly. It gets Herndon, Rose, and Schmidt. I just can't imagine Willie Hernandez pitching to Mike Schmidt in this baseball game. That could be ugly. But anyway, Larry Boa will lead off in the bottom of the 12th. Here's the pitch to Boa. 47 off Hernandez is a base hit for the A's Steeler. Now you got Lonnie Smith. Nicoja's catching. Don't want to run out of this inning. You have your opponent maxed out pretty much everywhere. Lonnie Smith is better against righties than lefties, so that helps Hernandez. He'll pitch to Lonnie. 6-11, Hernandez. First X now. All or nothing at first because Upshaw. He's a 2E22. Good chance for a double play. Good chance for an error. A 2E22 at first base. It's not an error. It's a 20. If you look here, it says 25. He's not a 25. He's a 22. You have to put the proper number in. It's a GBA for Willie Upshaw. Another huge break for Portland. Trying to keep this thing going. And now you got Larry Herndon with Rose on deck. 110 for Herndon's a base hit. He is an A's Steeler. Do you try and get in a scoring position for Pete Rose? I think you attempt it. Herndon's going to try and steal the base with 2 outs. He rolls a 9 and is safe. The speedy Larry Herndon, Ace Steeler. Again, depth. Better depth for Philadelphia. Herndon's not even starting. And he's the 10th player on this team, and he steals a base. Good defensive player as well. He's on at second. And you got Rose. Also better against right-handed pitching. Pete Rose will swing away. Here's the pitch. 2-8 is a pop to third base. 2 innings in the book for Willie Hernandez. We go to the 13th inning. Brewster's second inning of relief. It's also his breaking inning. He'll face Art Howe. 46 is a base hit. Now you got Glenn Hubbard, D-bunter, so I'll have to swing away. Stay out of the double play. 63, pitcher X, Brewster's an E0-1-6-3 double play. If you're wondering, another one of my rules in my carryover league. E0 home pitchers automatic GBA. It's been playing that forever to speed up the contest. So a tough break there for Portland. That'll bring up Upshaw with the bases empty. And here's the pitch to Upshaw. 47 off Brewster, single 1-4. He gets it. Not broken yet. 2 have reached. Runner at first, 2 outs. Gary Ward. 210, base hit to right field. And now that's the point of weakness. Do you run Upshaw to third with 2 outs? 14, 15, 16. Zero arm. Don't normally do it, but I want a 16 to get him to third base. I'm going to take the chance and advance him to third, even with 2 outs. He's thrown out on an 18. You got to be kidding me. What's that rule? Don't make the final out at third base. I got greedy. I wanted the winning run at third. I didn't get it. And I got my runner thrown out at third on an 80% chance. That's why you don't do it. But Portland did it anyway, or attempted to do it. And unfortunately, a bonehead mistake. Upshaw thrown out at third on a 0 arm. Mostly because Tom Bereiser was on deck. Oh my goodness. Brewster completes the inning. He's broken. And he's already pitched 2 innings. So this thing could get really ugly in the 13th if we have a 13th. Willie Hernandez. Do you simply walk Schmidt to start the bottom of the inning so he doesn't hit a game-ending home run? Or do you go to LaCourty now? It's Hernandez breaking inning, okay? So he's a relief 3. This is the breaking inning. Could 3 batters reach in the inning and break him? Well, you got Schmidt, McBride. Yeager has to bat. Most assuredly, Yeager wouldn't face the lefty. You'd like Hernandez to face McBride, who is lefty. I'm going to deal with the chance of... I just can't put a guy on just to put a guy on. I know it's Mike Schmidt. And frankly, he hits homers versus righties anyway. So we're going to pitch to Schmidt. We're not going to intentionally walk him to start the bottom half of the inning. Here's the pitch to Mike Schmidt. 6-10 off of Willie Hernandez. You got to be kidding. Homer 1/17. It's gone. Mike Schmidt did it. He hits the 6-10 off of Willie Hernandez. You got to be kidding me. It's gone. And Philly wins 7-6. Unbelievable. Unbelievable tragedy here. What ridiculous. We had an incredibly bizarre game in the later parts of this. 2 outs, nobody on. Pull, lemon, reach, you get a run. And then you get a runner thrown out of third base. And then you contemplate. Walk Mike Schmidt to start the inning. Go to righty reliever. Let's tempt fate and pitch to Schmidt, hoping he doesn't roll off his card. He doesn't. He rolls off Hernandez's card. And it's Homer 1/17. That's not that bad on 4-10. He rolls 6-10 and gets it, and it's gone over the wall. Unbelievable finish. A heartbreaking finish. Philadelphia defeats Portland 7-6, winning the series 3-1. We're just going to go right into the box score and post game. That is one of the wildest games ever played. So many lucky breaks and bad managing decisions. Trying for an edge. Unbelievable. Trying to get every last bit. We're going to contemplate why not bring in Frank LaCourte, but they never had a lead. And they just wanted to get a lead and then go to LaCourte to finish the game. He stays in the bullpen. Probably would have pitched in this inning at a certain point. He was scheduled to face Steve Yeager, the third batter of the inning. That's when LaCourte was going to come into the game. Didn't get that far. All I can say is that we should have intentionally walked Mike Schmidt or gone to LaCourte to start the inning. But you do that, there's nobody else to pitch. You got nobody else. Brewster gets the win. My goodness. Brewster, he came in and faced Terry Poole. 3 up and 3 down there. Then in the next inning, he gave up a single. Hubbard hits into a double play. Then 2 more singles and a runner gets thrown out at third base. So 3 hits. Nobody scores, no strikeouts. McGraw's 3 inning of relief. It was the 9th inning. It started with 2 outs, then the 2 hits and a run. And then nothing after that. And he struck out Art Howe. Dick Tidrow got an out in the 8th. Searage gave up a hit in the 8th. Shal did face 2 batters in the 8th. We wanted him to get through Horner. He could not. So he's responsible for those 2 runs in the 8th inning. So he gave up 5 runs. No decision for Shal. 8 hits. Charged with 5 runs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. Willie Hernandez. Unbelievable. So he gives up a solo homer in the bottom of the 13th inning. Prior to that, he came in and faced Bate McBride. So he struck out McBride. He got Yeager out. They gave up 2 hits there. The 2 base error didn't hurt him. So he gave up 2 hits plus the solo home run. Jim Barr, 1 strikeout for Hernandez, 1 strikeout for Jim Barr. Facing Herndon, he gives up 2 hits. Barr and Ford were outstanding. He got the double play to Dave Ford, a hit and 2 Ks. And it was a struggling Stupor. 3 1/3, he gives up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. Actually, he's at 9 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He gave up 8 hits. Dave Ford gave up 1 hit. Jim Barr gave up 2 hits. Willie Hernandez gave up 3 hits. Charged with 6 runs is Stuper, though that one's unearned. Only 5 are earned. A walk and no strikeouts. Unbelievable. 10013 01012. 715 614. 7 runs, 15 hits. 6 runs, 14 hits. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1 and 4. Portland put 18 men on base. The Phillies put 16 men on base. What a wild postseason we're having. The Phillies, you know, they came back and beat the Cubs in the wild card game. Portland's given them everything they could ask for. Philly has obviously not been as dominant as they were a year ago. But then they got smoked in the World Series. Now they're in these playoff World Division round and playoff games, and they're getting some breaks, huge lucky breaks. 10013 01012, 715 614. That's game 4. Philly wins the series 3-1. What a stunning game. I'm still stunned at how all those decisions went down. Low probabilities everywhere. I mean, Willie Upshaw getting thrown out third. We still had an 80% chance of that. Terry Poole reaching second, and then Chet Lemon winning the game, tying the game at the top of the 9th. Another low probability. And then Schmidt getting the homer off of the Willie Hernandez card. All these are extremely weird, low probabilities. So the Phillies are 21-10 in their post. They're hitting .301 with a .365 ERA, and they'll go into the League Championship Series. You don't know their opponent yet. Again, Schmidt's got 13 home runs in 31 games. Looking like another MVP performance for him. Unbelievable. Sadly, Portland's improbable season ends with a record of 19-11. Portland hit .285 with a .363 ERA. Jerry Royce and Jim Beattie were their best starters. After that, it gets kind of thin. John Stuper, as the starter in this game, has given up 21 runs in 27 1/3 innings. He's got a .691 earned run average. Jim Barr, we really liked him. However, he hasn't pitched that great either. 12 runs in 17 innings. Frankly, Hernandez had just given up 7 runs in 17 1/3 innings, got his second loss. It really was LaCourty. 14 1/3 scoreless innings, left in the bullpen. The last, had Portland gotten, remember, this is not, it wasn't a game 5, it was a game 4. They would have needed LaCourty in game 4 and 5 anyway, right? If you win this game, you still got to win the final game. So LaCourty finishes the season in the Portland bullpen unused. That's a tragedy there. 19-11, .285, .363 ERA. Bob Horner had 8 homers, 20 RBIs. How about Gary Ward? In 30 games, he had 12 homers and 33 RBIs. Fantastic year for him. But, sadly, it's over. Shao gets, the Phillies get the win. They don't need a game 5. And that means that Portland's season is over with, and the Phillies can prepare for a League Championship Series for the 2nd year in a row, and Steve Carlton can begin it. Bray Burris could be the number 2 man. They can go back to Shao. Shao would have 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 days rest. Shao could get 1, 2, 3, 4. He could pitch in game 2, and he will. Burris, by not playing a game 5, they have 3 days off. So that will help the Phillies. League Championship Series, traditional best of 7. So it's Carlton, Shao, Burris, Ruthven. Carlton, Shao, Burris. Don't know who their opponent will be, because the Astros still have to play Cincinnati. That's it today, folks. Break up the Phillies. hanging in there, knocking off a very game-proud Portland team, 3 games to 1. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.